Welcome to my video on strategy for six-pack after 40. So I want to make it as simple as possible for you to understand and build and maintain your dream body, right? First thing that we need to be aware of is 1+1 strategy. I would say it's like very logical, right? If we just train hard, but then we don't eat healthy and clean, the results won't be good. And opposite as well. So if you are gonna like eat healthy and then no training, is not gonna be efficient. So today I'm gonna talk about macronutrients, I'm gonna talk about insulin, and I'm gonna talk about supplements when it comes to nutrition. And then workout wise, I'm gonna share more about like how to create your workouts, how to uh, find a smart way to take care about your recovery, and obviously cardio. I will add up, of course, some tips and tricks that would be useful for you to build and gain strength and muscle mass. And at the same time, we can lose fat. So if we want to like gain muscle, maintain muscle, and lose fat at the same time, we need to be in very small calorie deficit, right? Sometimes people want to lose fat and then they just like stop eating, but then metabolism is slowing down. And I would rather do opposite. I would eat as much as I can, but still be in small deficit, maybe 10 to 15% calorie wise. So now I want to talk about macronutrients. I want to talk about proteins, carbs, and fats, right? Proteins are bricks for our cell, bricks for our body, amino acids that we are made of, right? And it's not an energy source, so you won't get fat from eating too much of proteins. 1 gram of protein equal 4 calories. Carbs and fats, on the other side, are energy source, right? 1 gram of carb equal 4 calories. 1 gram of fat equal 9 calories, right? And both are energy sources. Okay, so for example, grown-up men use around, let's say, 2000 to 2500 calories a day. So perhaps maybe 300, 500 calorie of deficit, maybe 15 to 20% max. And we get to 1500 calories a day, right? So let's break this into 3 macros, right? We need to be high on proteins because as we are getting older, our metabolism is slowing down, our absorption is poor. So we need to be around like 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, 2 grams of protein on 1 kilogram of body weight. So let's say if I have like 90 kilos, I need to eat 180 grams of protein, which make it 400 calories is 100. So it's like around 6 to 700 calories from protein, right? 6 to 700 calories from protein. Carbs, I would say maybe something from 100 to 150 gram of carbs. At least maybe you can start with 100 gram of carbs, which is 400 calories, right? And very often I like to do carb cycling. What that means is every 2-3 weeks I would increase carbs actually, but only maybe for 30 gram every 2 weeks, just to like keep pushing this boundary, right? Like boundary towards like, because when you're gonna start training, when you're gonna train more, when you're gonna eat more, your metabolism is gonna also increase and get faster, right? So from that perspective, you need to go carb cycling, so you will actually keep boosting your metabolism, right? I would go low on fats, literally, because fats are very difficult to digest. So I would say maybe 500 calories from fats is more than enough. Like 1 gram of calorie is fat is 9 calories, so that means maybe 50 to 60 grams of fats. So now we are on 700 calories from protein, 400 calories from carbs. That's 1100, and then 60 is like 450. Taman, it's nice. So it's 1550 calories if we would go for 50 to 60 gram of fats, 180 gram of protein, and 100 gram of carbs. Okay, easy. Takeaways. First, don't start the day with carbs. No carbs or fats for breakfast. Like many people are eating oats and bread for breakfast. Don't. Simple. Don't. Why? Because you see, when you have your dinner and then you go sleep and then you sleep over the night, when is the biggest amount of hormones that is produced, you are gonna recover, and your glycogen reservoir in your livers and muscle will actually recover and get full. So in the morning when you wake up, your energy source is full, your tank is full. So if you're gonna start the day with carbs, adding more energy is just gonna stay in your bloodstream system. No point. So you better take maybe 2-3 eggs with some spinach or some veggie, just to wake up, go out there, do training, go to the office. Whatever you do, you will spend and waste a bit of calories, right? So the most important meal for athlete or whatever high achiever is post-workout meal. So I always say, you need to deserve your carbs, right? So after workout, you go for, again, of course, proteins and carbs, complex carbs, not simple carbs. Later I talk about that. Second tip: don't mix fats and carbs within one meal, because these both are energy sources and it's a bit risky for the body to recognize which one to use, blah blah blah. So just in case, right? Example: if I go for salad with chicken and then there is potato and rice, there is like protein and carbs, which is fine. I don't add avocado. For example, I go for big avocado salad with chicken, which is fine, fats and proteins. I won't top up and add carbs like potato or rice, for example. Um, Peanut butter is fine, bread is fine, but peanut butter on bread is not fine, right? Because they are both energy sources. One of them will probably end up somewhere that you don't want. Okay, drink water before your meal. Never drink during your meal, because your enzymes, digestive enzymes, won't be able to do the work and break the food into nutrients, right? So from that perspective, I would drink water maybe like 5 minutes before, or then maybe 20-30 minutes after my meal. Next thing, insulin, right? What is the insulin? Insulin is the hormone that brings glucose to the cell. So when we have insulin, when we have like nice level of insulin in our bloodstream, it will open the cell, open the doors for the glucose to go in and give us energy. If we have too much of insulin, if we get to insulin spikes, it then the cell won't open. It's going to be messy, and that is what we call insulin resistance, right? So when this happens, when we eat simple sugars will increase in insulin spikes. So that's why I always recommend, and I always order to focus on complex carbs versus simple sugars, right? Complex carbs like rice, like quinoa, like oats, like potato. Complex means that the chains are longer, so body needs more work, enzymes, to break this into glucose, and there will be less spike. Okay. Another thing is important when it comes to insulin: eat often. Eat every 3-4 hours. Like insulin only lasts 2.5 hour, 2.5 hour in our system. So you need to eat often, right? I eat every 3 hours just to maintain. And obviously, plain food is a must. Like now, this one sounds a bit funny, but I don't eat fruits for like many years because, like, for example, if I crave for some, if I want more vitamins or more fibers that I get from usually people would take from fruits, I go for vegetables. As simple as that, right? The only fruit that I recommend is maybe berry. Like berries are low in sugar. Okay, and fructose is simple sugar, also spike, also cause inflammation. So guys, please say no to tropical fruits. Yeah, one apple has 25 grams of sugar. I don't know how much fiber and vitamin, but let's say one bell pepper has same amount of vitamin and fiber and zero sugar, right? So obviously, I'm a smart man, I go for bell pepper. But bell pepper has no taste, right? Because sugar and fat, it's yummy. Next thing is supplement, right? Like in these days, nutrition is very poor. So if you don't add supplements, I'm sure you are in deficient. So strength-wise supplement, I would say creatine. It will just contain more water within your muscle, so you need to make sure that you drink a lot of water if you take creatine. It will give you some strength. I would say I like to go for isolate protein powder. What means isolate is like normal whey plus isolate. It's like they put lactose away, so I won't feel bloated. I would use it after workout because it's very easy to absorb, fast to absorb. When it comes to endurance, I would say electrolytes, minerals, vitamins that we are using, we are like losing during like endurance workouts, but only after 30 minutes now. After 45 minutes or so, we are starting to lose it. So make sure that you are like top up after. When it comes to recovery and health, I would say let's fight inflammation. Let's add omega 3 before sleep. Because if you will have it in the morning or afternoon, you will use these expensive omega-3 capsules for energy because it's a fat, right? It's an energy source. So it's safe to take it before sleep. It will stay longer in your blood system to fight inflammation, right? So omega-3, I would say health and recovery wise, I would say magnesium is amazing, especially to like help you with sleep or cramps, but also before sleep is the best. Curcumin fights inflammation. I like to add it in my nutrition, in my food. I mean, when I cook. Glutamine. Glutamine is a essential protein that you want to have if you want to like recover faster, especially if you are very active. Um, Digestive enzymes and probiotics, like especially if you take some antibiotics, if you feel sick or whatever, I would recommend extra add probiotics. Digestive enzymes you can take if you eat heavy food and then you feel bloated. But yeah, takeaway would be keep it simple: multivitamins, minerals, omega-3, maybe magnesium before sleep, and then you can top up accordingly. Next thing, let's jump into fitness, into workouts, right? When it comes to fitness, I will share more about like workouts, like recovery and endurance, right? What is important here? Important to understand what our muscle needs. Our muscle needs stimulation. And how can we stimulate our muscle? With some kind of resistance, right? That's why I go to the gym. Yeah, maybe for many people it's not so fun. And obviously I support all kind of sport. I also do martial arts. I like to hike and everything, so it's good. But don't skip the gym. Don't skip the resistance workout, right? Because body doesn't recognize number. Body recognize tension. So you want to keep your muscle under the tension, right? that is how you will actually like make some micro injury, a bit of damage, where body will then scream for recovery, proteins and carbs will come to the cell, and that's how you will actually get to hypertrophy, which means building and maintaining your muscle mass, right? And as we are growing older, like 40 plus, you definitely losing a lot of muscle, like 1, 2, 3, 4% a year, if you are not doing resistant workout. Next thing, compound versus isolation movements. What that means? Compound movement is a functional move that it's at least that is engaging more joints at the same time, like squat, like hip hinge, like push and pull. So for example, if I'm a bodybuilder and I want to target like small muscle group just because I see that aesthetic is not there, okay. But I would say overall, from like, I would say squat, you get so much more. When you do squat, it's optimizing, right? If you have like twice a day for workout, okay, go target these small muscle groups. But if you train 2-3 times a week only, I tell you, it's possible. But what you need to do is you need to focus on big compound movements like squat, hip hinge, like I said, push and pull. For example, I go to the gym twice a week. Obviously, I will focus both days on full body workout, right? I would do push pull, like protagonist, antagonist, and then I would do upper lower, upper lower. So if I do, let's say, squat, first set, I do squat, and then immediately go into some push, for example. I do chest press, I do shoulder press, whatever. And I do 4 or 5 sets of this. Squat, push, squat, push, squat, push. Okay, after that, that's 20 minutes. Then I go into something for my legs again. I do walking lunges, and at the same time, I can do some pull. So I do walking lunges, I go pull, pull up. Walking lunges, pull up. Walking lunges, pull up. Okay, 20, 30 minutes of that. And I'm already on 40, 50 minutes of workout. And it's full body workout constantly, like all 1 hour under tension, right? And when I do squat, my arms from like pushing are resting. And then when I do push, my legs are resting. So I actually don't need to take extra rest. That's why it's very, very, very efficient. It will boost your metabolism, and you are gonna stay functional, right? Within your full range of motion and so on and so forth. Plyometrics, specific more for athletes because it targets fast muscle tissues, right? Like we have fast muscle tissues, slow muscle tissues. Um, Fast muscle tissues are like much stronger, much more explosive, but they cannot last because they use a lot of oxygen. But then, like I say, fast muscle tissues mostly in like biceps, quadriceps, chest, because they can produce a lot of force, but they can't last. But then from the other side, slow muscle tissues are muscle that can last long, but they cannot produce a lot of force, like our calves, our neck, our forearm. These are muscles that are under tension all day, right? So it has to be endured. So that is also where I would like see the difference between anaerobic and aerobic endurance, right? If we go to do cardio, like we can do sprints, intervals, anaerobic without oxygen, right? Anaerobic means not enough of oxygen to supply our muscles. So maybe after 6-7 seconds, you will have to go slow down, right? Because you can't last. It will be lack of oxygen, and then it will be too much of lactate acidic, like it's gonna be like acidic in your muscle, so you have to stop and recover, or then go into aerobic way, which is like jog or something slow, so you can then last long, right? Last part in this physical, I would say, wellness is recovery, right? Like, okay, I'm 42. What that means? If I wouldn't do my mobility in the morning, if I wouldn't break my knots on my lower back with my tool, I would injure myself doing martial arts or heavy lifts, right? So guys, please, mobility work means working around full range of motion, targeting your joints and your ligaments. You know, your ligament is almost like cartilage, is not very alive. So if you want to like get the blood flow into our ligaments, it's very important to do these mobility routines, right? And then in the, let's say, mobility for breakfast and stretching for dinner, after a long day, if you can stretch your muscles and make them soft and let the blood flow, do the work and flush this acidic stuff from the away, you are gonna stay young. Okay, trigger points are like knots that are there because of some kind of positions not aligned, perhaps. So usually inside lower back, usually in your neck, in your glutes. So that is where you need to really focus on and break them, and you don't need a lot. I use 5 minutes a day for like breaking my trigger points, and it's a miracle, right? um, Guys, please, any questions, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to share more with you. And yeah, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. You can just reach out anywhere. Okay, until next time, take care.